Amber was born on May 25th at New-York-Presbyterian in Queens.
She was born on her due date, and we had no idea there was anything wrong at all.
Shortly after she was born, we realized, and the doctors realized, that she couldn't breathe.
It was very scary for us. We were very afraid.
Amber was sent to the special care intensive care nursery within the first hours of life when we noticed her having low oxygen saturations because of her cleft palate and this receding chin. When we brought her here, we diagnosed as Pierre Robin Sequence, or also called Pierre Robin syndrome.
At New-York-Presbyterian Queens, we have significant expertise in many areas, including our Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. However, there are some situations where infants who are born here really need a higher level of care. And that's the great thing about being part of New-York-Presbyterian, that when we need further expertise, we are able to seamlessly transfer our patient to one of the sites and get our patient to the correct place immediately.
They had assured us that the people that were at this hospital were the top of their field. And we knew at that point that we had a chance and Amber had a chance. We got to New York-Presbyterian and we were surrounded by teams.
Unfortunately with Amber, she wasn't able to maintain her airway when she was awake. That's why in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, they had to intubate her and put her on mechanical ventilation. And at that point, that's where Dr. Neugarten came in with his surgery.
I had received a phone call from Dr. Veller and Dr. Modi about her severe respiratory distress and compromised airway. I felt it was in her best interest to perform the distraction osteogenesis procedure and grow the lower jaw and increase her airway versus the tracheotomy.
Pierre Robin Sequence, without distraction, the child would definitely need a tracheostomy.
Amber underwent a CAT scan of the face. That CAT scan is then truly represented in a one-to-one fashion on the computer screen, and we do virtual surgical planning of her jaw. There is a model that gets made from the CAT scan, a plastic model, a 3D printing model, to allow me to have her jaw in my hands where we have planned the cuts within the jaw, to then take a device called a distractor that gets attached to it by screws, and I can pre-bend that and customize it to her.
After doing the surgery, in order to really assess and determine that the airway is open and the child can sleep safely, we come in and we do our sleep study. This is Amber's first sleep study after surgery. The apnea was still present. We went back to Dr. Neugarten and asked him to continue to advance the jaw in order to completely free and open the airway.
When we take care of a baby on the unit, it's about the whole family. It's about the baby, the family, the mother, the father.
It was post-surgery when they said to me, by the way, we're planning on taking the ventilator out today. And they removed that ventilator, and I hadn't heard her make a sound since the day she was born. She let out this raspy cry, and it was the best sound I could ever hear. They immediately picked her up and put her in my arms, and it was like she was being born again.
I was overwhelmed when I saw her the first time, how much weight she gained and how well she's doing.
We were very fortunate. She was born at New-York-Presbyterian of Queens. She was easily transferred within their family of hospitals. It was the best thing that could have happened. And it is because their teams are able to communicate, and it's great having the hospital here in Queens and to have a sister hospital right there in the city in Manhattan. And it's great to know that they're there.
New-York-Presbyterian of Queens and New-York-Presbyterian Weill Cornell saved Amber's life. They not only saved her life, but they gave her a quality of life. So they also gave our family a quality of life.
One of the things that I tell them when I first meet them is I tell them I'm going to grow old with them. And I want to see these children transform from the neonate to the baby, to the young teenager, to the teenager, and ultimately see them married. And I'm young enough in my career that hopefully I'll see that for many of these patients.
He's a phenomenal doctor, and I owe him a great debt. He's saved my daughter's life.